All right. This video is going to be about this latest obsession I'm kind of hooked on, and these leather cuff watch, uh, bracelets, bands. I came up with a name and I just bought the URL, which is, I'm calling it the Gladiator watch cuff. Leathercraft is something I did when I was a kid, and for years I've been laying around looking at my stuff. There's so many things I've been needing to make out of leather that I finally bought the basic tools and started doing it. I made some Zulu straps, and then I made this for myself. Now, as you know, I'm into watches all of a sudden. Not new, something I've been into a long time, but not into. Always wore a watch, right, as a kid. Cell phone got me off the watch. But I've decided to start wearing a watch again because every time I pick up the cell phone to check the time, I get lost in the watch. I don't have that kind of time, when I'm working. So as I got into the watches, I discovered these Aragon watches. As a matter of fact, I think this watch here was the first Aragon I ever bought. And it's a 50 millimeter case. It's huge. And it comes on this massive metal bracelet. I'll tell you what right now. The bracelet I'm holding right here in this plastic is heavier than this entire watch with leather cuff. So when you try to wear a 50 millimeter watch on a heavy metal solid link bracelet, you have to wear it really snug on your wrist. And even then, it can still slide down. And when it does, that 3 o'clock crown digs into the top of your hand. So it's just not practical to wear every day for work. So I came up with this thing, and I found this one. I got a deal on it because it has a scratch right here. I'm going to take the skin off my thumb here. But, I bought it, and I liked it. But again, it's a big watch. And I started looking at different stuff online as far as bands go. And I stumbled upon the Bund Strap and all that stuff. I was like, well, I can do this. And just like everything else in my life, I look at it and I say to myself, well, I know I can do it. I just got to do it. I've been designing and building furniture for decades. I've been in the trades for a long time. I'm a high-end craftsman. People pay me a lot of money. If I can make high-end furniture with exposed joinery and all the things that I do already, then I've got the skills to do something like this. I can watch a few videos and understand the order of operation, all of it. And I'm always into, even with my woodworking, I'm into hand-done stuff. So little imperfections and whatnot denote handmade. Now this one here was my first Gladiator watch cuff. Mistakes were made. I had to move this around a couple times. So there's some extra holes here. I considered stitching that last night. I added this square stitching last night. I added a little strip right here last night, and I've been wearing this for about a week, I suppose. I love it. I wear it every day. This is so comfortable, even to wear snugly on the wrist. It's very comfortable. Now, on this one, again, I learned on the second one, you can see I stitched all the way through. So that's 4 layers of leather I'm stitching through. And anyhow, the point is I got it, right? To me, this looks cool. And I guess I know it looks cool because I'm getting a lot of comments on it and people asking me about it. So, I also need the practice, which is why I got into this one, which I made for my brother. My brother has a 9-inch wrist. As it turns out, my ankle is 9 inches around. That's what I used to fit this. A couple things I want to talk about with this because, I'm going to make these to sell. I'm actually going to do them with watches. And if you stay tuned in this video, I'm going to share some screenshots I took off a computer of some of the watches I purchased to put on these style bands. They won't all be like this one. My brother's over 300 pounds, 6'3", giant guy. So I put 3 layers of leather here. I'm actually stitching through 5 layers of leather at this point. I did a much cleaner job on this one. Obviously, you could see I didn't have to stitch through it here to do the initials. I did that just on the top layer, then sandwiched these. His name's Carl, so I put the K here. On this one in particular, I salvaged this strap here that has the buckle on it. It was a Zulu strap. So I did add an extra piece of leather right here to reinforce it. If you watch the video, you can see there's a split here. So that's all taken care of. It's nice and heavy duty now. On the ones I make in the future, they'll be much better. Not that there's anything wrong with this. This thing's freaking badass. And again, a 50 millimeter watch on a big guy, that's going to work. So, man, I'm getting notes already on this. What I did was I purchased 5 watches, and they're coming, okay? I'm going to show you some pictures now. I've got these 2 Addies divers that are coming. I'm going to put them on brown leather because I have that right now, and I'm going to have to spend the money on a hide. This is all bison hide, which gives you this nice texture on it. It's almost reminiscent of like a crocodile or something, which makes it visually more interesting than just a flat leather. I think it's beautiful. I mean, I just love looking at this thing. It is so comfortable. Even sweating in it working last week. I'm about to do that now. I'll be up on the roof in a little bit. I'm really digging on it. So I'll make them available for sale with the watches on them. When you see the pictures in this video, what I'm about to show you, if you're interested, you can contact me at mike@mikezdesign.com. I'll come up with a number and all that. One of the things I want to point out is when you make one of these watches, any watch band, typically what you'll see is they put the buckle in the center. Now, I kind of had this happy accident here, where when I made mine, you can see that the buckle is off to the side. And being a working man, blue-collar guy, I'm wearing this to work in, that is so much smarter. But the only way to achieve that is to do it custom. I would have to know a wrist size. If I'm making these just to put out there for sale, I can't guarantee that the buckle's going to land at the same place on you. All right. So, for instance, my brother's got a 9-inch wrist. That's what this is set up for right here. You can go a little smaller, and you got room to go bigger. If you got bigger than a 9-inch wrist, holy Toledo. Now, this one here, I've got a 7 5/8-inch wrist. That's where that hole is. So you can go bigger. This will probably take you closer to 8, or 7 and 7/8. Probably 8, 8 1/4. You basically get larger on this one. But if I make it for people with average wrists, like people that have like 6 to 7-inch wrists, it's going to be a little bit different. But that's probably the sizes I'll be making. The other watches I'm buying are smaller, like a 40 millimeter case or a 43 millimeter case. So the overall width of the cuff is going to be smaller. Let me get a tape out and show you some dimensions on this. All right, when you're working with the watch stuff, unfortunately you're working in millimeters all the time, but I'll give this to you in numbers here. So we're at, what is that? That's about almost 2 3/4, probably is about that at the center. On my brother's watch band, it's almost 2 3/4 wide at that center, pretty wide. I mean, you can see how thick this is. This is a full 1/4 of an inch at least thick here. I mean, it's just a massive thing. Mine is a little bit smaller, obviously, but I just wanted you to see that. I mean, this watch face, being a 50 millimeter, that's 2 inches on the case, about. And yeah, so now it gives you a little bit of perspective there. Let me put something else in the picture that we all recognize, so that'll help you with the dimension visually as well. There you go. It's just a pocket knife, right? So you can kind of see in comparison. I was going to use a dollar bill, but I don't know. People are funny about putting money on the screen for some reason. Yeah. Anyhow, again, to me, looking at this thing, the quality of it, the way it's stitched, just Gladiator watch cuff came to mind. I think it's kind of a genius idea. That's why I bought the URL. I already see a t-shirt in my mind. I might even start another Instagram page, but I don't know if it's worth that. I think I'll just keep it under my Mike Z Design. When I originally came up with Mike Z Design as a kind of a company name. The idea back then was I was already doing all sorts of things to make money, and I still want to do the t-shirts, but I thought if I just did Mike Z Design, then it encompasses anything. So again, you can see here, the one I'm wearing, which is on your right, is not small. But compared to the one I made my brother, it's like his dwarfs it, right? Crazy, crazy. If you want one of these things in this style, and you want your initials on it, I can do that. But if you want it in black, it's going to be a while. I only have enough brown to do a couple, so I'm going to have to splurge. I'm going to be spending hundreds of dollars, I suppose, on some hides, and I'll have enough leather to do quite a bit. I'll start off with buying a black hide, try to get a match here, and then I'll get a decent brown tone, and I'll stick with that for a while. There's other things coming. I've got knife sheaths to make. I've got axe covers to make, things for my chisels. It's endless, the things that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and now that I've been practicing the skills, I feel like it's only going to get better. I'm not going to tell you this one here is perfect. It's not, but it's pretty good. This is only the second time I've ever even attempted to do something like this, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud enough to think to myself that I can do these and sell them. So, if it's something you're interested in, let me know. This video is not about trying to get sales necessarily. It's about talking about these and the aesthetic of it and explaining the common sense approach I have here with the buckle placement, which is not typical. If you've got this on your wrist and you're at a desk or you have to lean up on a table or something, it just makes sense where the buckle is not in the center, right? If it's in the center, then that buckle is scratching up your desktop or your computer or whatever, right? So, if your hand's resting on a desk, now it's just the leather there. And even just resting your hand on something on top of the leather like you're seeing here, it's obviously far more comfortable to do that. Far more comfortable. And a quick note again about the choices I made about stitching the band directly to the bund. That's for security. So the whole idea of a NATO strap that passes over this lug, under the watch, and out the other side is if a spring bar breaks, you don't lose the watch. On a two-piece band, you lose the watch. If you're going to order a Bund strap, Bund straps are going to come in a way where they're designed so you've got two leather straps that come in, and they usually go under a kind of a keeper that's sewn to here. And this way that bund will fit any size watch. Obviously appropriately sized for your lug width. This lug width is 24 millimeters. It's massive. The buckle I'm using is a roller buckle I bought a dog collar for. If you watch my videos where I'm making these, you know that. So I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to make a bund, let's also keep in mind this idea of the Zulu strap. So my bands are made for the watch that comes on it. Now, I suppose if somebody had a particular watch that they wanted on one of these bands, you could send that to me, and I can make this for you. This is not something I don't know, man. I don't think I can keep up with this if I suddenly get a bunch of orders, because it's going to take a while for you to get it. I don't even have the materials to really make these at the moment. I have to order this stuff still. It's going to take time to get it and money and everything else, but I'm working towards it. This is more about kind of like a neat idea. I think it's cool. I think it's cool to come up with the name. Right? Am I wrong about this? Gladiator watch cuff? I think that's cool. Again, not for everyone. You've got to be the right type of dude or lady to pull off something like this. Not everybody has that sort of vibe, or style. I get it. Not for everyone. Not trying to talk you into it. Not trying to convince you that this is the ultimate thing. But in particular, if you're a large watch person, hands down, I've done it. I've worn these large watches with the steel bracelets, and now that I'm wearing one on this strap, this is the I hate to put it this way, but it's the best way to do it. Period. Period. This is just so much more comfortable on the wrist than that solid heavy link. And I got to tell you, this guy Wing that makes these Aragons, he does a great job. And the bracelets that he makes, amazing, amazing. They are designed for the watch. It's great. Matter of fact, it's a problem because I have to, on both of these, not as much on the one here, more so on this one, and you see it in the videos I made, which I'll link. I'm going to put links to the videos I did where I made these watches, as well as some links to some of my furniture, so you guys understand where I'm coming from, and you understand that I'm an actual real craftsman in other disciplines. This is new to me, really, the leather thing, but it doesn't seem difficult for me. Not trying to knock people who've been doing this for decades, just saying, for me, this sort of thing kind of comes easy. But I do have to machine the case a bit, right at the corner to be able to fit the leather through there. Wing does not design these watches to be used on any other type of bracelet. All right, so that's the one thing about these particular watches. Now, the other watches I have coming that I'll be putting on these bands, I don't think there's a problem with those at all. I don't think I'm going to mess with those cases at all. They appear to be sized appropriately. So it should go a little bit smoother when I make those. And as I said, you're going to see pictures here in a moment. I'm going to actually, let me just take a break here for a second, and then I'll give you a closing statement. Okay, so you just saw pictures of the two styles of watches. They're beautiful. They are spec'd extremely well, similar to the Aragons here. They've got sapphire crystals. They've got stainless steel cases, stainless steel screw and backs, screw down crowns, 200-meter water resistance. I mean, the specs on those watches in the $500 range sometimes don't have those specs. They usually do. That's about right for that style watch with those specs. So you can imagine, it's not something I'm going to be giving away. And of course, it takes pretty much a whole day to make one of these bands. It's not a fast process. It's a handmade, one of a kind, custom thing, not for everyone. Okay, I understand that, and that's my whole life. That's what I've done. I understood and made a rule for myself when I was younger. If you want to make money, cater to the people that have it. So it does alienate to a certain extent other people, but you can't please everybody. That is just how it is. And by the way, I mean, somebody else, I think it was this morning, said he was going to make one of these, and I want you to. This has happened to me before. I did my rocket bench. I'll put a video down below, which you can see one. I had a guy make a comment like that one time. I'm going to make one of those. And my response to him was, good. Please do. And when you do, send me the pictures, because I want to see how good of a job that you did. I don't think I'm doing anything anyone else can't do. And it was funny because months went by, and I saw him in another comment on something else, and I asked him, I sent him a note. I said, dude, how'd the bench come out? It was like 6-8 months later. And he was very honest with me. He said, man, I was talking out my ass. He said, I went and I started looking at it hard to do it, and I realized I just didn't have the skill level. So it was cool of him to admit that, but I really wanted to see him do it. I don't think I'm doing anything a lot of other people can't do. I just oftentimes come up with ideas that are pretty unique. I don't know how many, probably well over 20 times now I've come up with hashtags that never existed before. Case in point, Gladiator watch cuff. There's no hashtag Gladiator watch cuff. There is now. I already did it. And as I said, I bought gladiatorwatchcuff.com because I believe in it. I believe in myself, and we'll see if anything comes of it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting the channel. It's very cool, you guys, all the nice things you say. And I know that a lot of you are here because of Sarah, Wonder Hussy. Appreciate that. This style of video on my channel does not get a lot of views. It's okay. I don't expect it to. I'm not sitting here telling you a story or anything. This is just me showing off some of the stuff I can do. And also, I really do think I'm trying to inspire other people to do similar things. Not necessarily a watch cuff or anything, but if you have a dream, if you're crafty, if you want to make stuff, I support that 100%. I know, and I did a whole video on hobbies and why you should have hobbies. What it does to your brain when you have to figure something out and work with materials and work with your hands to make something happen. It puts your brain in a different place that it would not be in had you not taken the time to try to build something. Okay? I don't know another way to explain it for you. But I suggest to everybody that you try to make something with your own hands. I don't care what it is. But the more you do something, the better you get at it. But what it's doing inside your brain and the Zen state that you get into and the thoughts that you will then have while you're in the middle of it it's life-affirming, life-changing. It really is an amazing thing. And don't hesitate. Just jump into it and start making stuff. You'd be shocked at what you can accomplish. You'd be shocked. So that's it. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. Be good to one another. I hope this is inspirational to somebody. And yeah, straight up, I am a capitalist, so I like to make a few bucks at the same time. That's it for now.